Hi there guys, it's Alec, and today I want to show you guys a bit of the new features that are coming out in MyBI app in September 2022. So our biggest focus for the updates that are coming through is actually to help you manage working capital. So it's going to be working capital management kind of enhancement that's going to help you to just increase and improve the health of your working capital. So as you know, MyBI plugs into any Sage Pastel Partner, Xpress or Sage 50 Cloud, and the ultimate goal is to automate the reporting environments, to consolidate multiple databases, and to make decision making easier by getting you information at your fingertips. Alright, so let's have a quick look at just what is coming out, and this is specifically in version 3.5.02, and this is going to hit the market in the next few days. All right, so on the two environments we're going to touch on is on the single database side and on the consolidation side. Both of these environments are both available in MyBI app, so I'm going to touch on both of them and show you how actually the benefits are going to help you and your teams. All right, first let's touch on the single database side. Okay, so our working capital improvements is there's a debtors and a creditors aging slicer that has been added. So I'm going to hop into a demo environment here. So as you go into the app, you'll see in debtors and credits analysis, you can go there by clicking either on either of these two reports or going through the dashboard links on the actual bubble that's called debtors and creditors. As you come, you'll see at the top there's a slicer here called aging, month aging. All right, so you can actually now slice in and out your different aging of your invoices or the documents that's been posted to your different entities, and or you can actually just deal with your cash flows that has been taken. Now this is debtors, so receipts that have come into each of the entities that have been received from each of your customers. That's all kept into this cash flow slicer, whilst your invoices and your credit notes, they will be aged current. That will be your current month, so we're in September at the date of this actual demo or this video. So anything that's in September will be reflected under current, anything in August, which is the previous month, will be last, and anything older than that will be in the older bucket. Right, that you've got those slices available in your creditors and your debts aging environment. So why does it help your working capital management? Well, if you wanted to see who's overdue, if you, for instance, have a payment cycle that is 30 days from statement, you can quickly just slice out the current. If we've already passed the 31st of August, so you would have expected everybody that had invoices up to the 31st of July to have paid by the 31st of August. So then you can just click out the current and the last, and then say, well, now we're only seeing invoices with cash flows that are older than the 1st of August. So here you can see overdue. Now this is the credit side. So you can see payments that is overdue, or you can see on the debtor side, you'll be able to see your debtors that have not yet paid you. Okay, so that's the first one. The second enhancement is debtors and creditors that are in the other side of the actual T account, which would be debtors and creditors in debit. Those are reflected in a color. Okay, so now you can see your debtors in credit, you can see in red, and your creditors in debit you can see in blue. So that just helps you also to quickly sift through potential problems. So you can see all the debtors in red are basically negative, meaning you owe them money, they've either deposited or they've paid too much. So that obviously tells you a bit about that creditor immediately just from a visual point of view. And if you're now going to slice out, if you have terms that says I have to be paid in 30 days from statement, you would expect that by the 31st of August, which has just passed us a few days ago, that all invoices up to the end of July would have now been received from your customers. So if you're going to slice out your September invoices and your August invoices, you would expect everything to be in red over here, and the ones that are not in red actually are overdue. They have not paid you by this date, and that means that you can immediately start, following up on those debtors to get them nice and healthy. All right, so let's look at some of the other benefits or other features, updates. The new cash book analysis report is now in. So as you go to the front page, you'll see there's a new cash book analysis here. It's also reflected by these new arrows. So that's different from your cash books, your cash flow statement. Cash flow statement is the transactions that happened that were linked to your cash book. So if I could give you an example here, if we book to any type of account, we've got two, if we have a cash book entry, we've got one that goes to your cash book. So that would be 8400, usually in a debtors environment, in a Pastel environment, I'm sorry. So you'll have, let's say, a debit. If you receive something, a receipt, that will be debited to your 400 account, and your sales, or whatever that may be, your actual debtor, would then be credited with 10,000. So what we do in the cash flow analysis, we take, we bring forward this leg, not the cash book leg. We bring forward this leg in all of them. So you can actually see everything that was booked. And often what you'll find in a Pastel environment is that your receipt, your payments, it's actually called CB1 payments, CB1 receipts, or CB whatever number the cash book you're using. And it's actually consolidated most of the times. So it's brought together into this one globular number with a Z contrast reference in your cash book account. So what we do is we take the other legs, which obviously is broken up. Let's say you have a payment, and I'm just going to throw this other way around. Let's say you have a payment of, this is going to be your credit side. Let's say you have a 100,000 Rand credit, but it's been paid over multiple expenses. And let's call that salaries. And let's say the other one was something like telephone. So you paid, 20,000 Rand, and you paid 75,000 Rand, and you paid 5,000 Rand of bank charges. We take these three and we throw them to the cash flow statement. So that's cash flow for you. So that helps you to see the transactional cash flow. Okay, so if you go in here, this one gives you your insight on transactions in your 8400 or all your cash books. It's not necessarily 8400, but your cash book accounts. And if you go there, you'll see that this gives you a breakdown of all your cash books. And here you can actually go and reconcile cash books now. So that also helps you from a cash flow management or a working capital point of view, because you can make sure that your cash books are reconciled. All right, next one. The customer database has now been added a category slicer. So in your Pastel, you can categorize your customers and also your suppliers. So both of these do now have category slices that you, as you categorize them in your Pastel. So if you go to your database over here, you'll see at the top it's got this category slicer. So if you now want to communicate, or you just want to slice or see segments of your different databases, customers and suppliers, you can now see that in the app. And you can also communicate either holistically to everybody, or you can say, well, I just want to see one type of actual slice of my database, and I want to quickly communicate to this category of my database. All right, so that helps you to also see components or categories of your databases, which makes it very nice to communicate when it comes to marketing, or to send out very specified communications, etc., etc. Right, next one. Your aging has now been added to your document level. So quotation aging has been added, and that's on the dashboard, and it's also done in the report itself. So if you go to your dashboard over here, you can always go to your dashboard with any of those icons. You'll see here that you've got a aging here on your quotation here in the left of your steering wheel, the top left corner. There it's got a 0 to 30 day aging bucket, a 31 to 60, and 61 to 90 days, and then 90 day plus. All right. If you click through to your actual quotations, you'll see it's also been categorized in these columns. It's no longer monthly, but it's rather age. It also helps you to make sure that you can that you can manage your quotes better and try and close them off before they expire. see how often people are being quoted, and obviously have a better grip just of quotes in general, because quotes is worth gold if we can just transfer them over into sales orders, right? Okay, the next one is also in your document aging. Well, there's a field now added if you drill down. So once you drill down on anything, you'll actually be able to see the aging right at the end. So I'll just go here and I'll say Control F and just go and search aging. Sometimes if you can't find the actual fields purely because this thing is switched on, we just switch it off, you'll see document aging. It's actually been added as a field as well. All right, so that helps on the drill down level. Right, let's jump over to the consolidation side. The consolidation side has now got a cube reporting update principle. Okay, so what that means is that we used to separate the reports when it comes to documents. So you got a few databases in a Pastel environment. You've got your general ledger database, you've got your documents database. So general ledger is a debit credit environment, whilst the documents is, for instance, it's a one-legged environment. A quote, for instance, doesn't have a financial impact. A sales order doesn't either, or a purchase order. Even an invoice. The invoice itself is just one-sided. Only when it hits the balance sheet does it go and it debits and credits, you know, like we in accounting always see it. But your databases sit apart. They're actually called history lines and history headers from the document side, and a general ledger, it's called ledger transactions in your financial double entry environment. Okay, so what we used to do, if you selected your company, so this is a consolidation, there's 3 companies in here. If you selected a company over here, it only updated in that moment, it only updated your ledger transaction reports, and then you had to go and update individually. When you go to those reports, you had to go and reselect another company. Now, when you select this consolidate slicer from the home page, or if you select it here from the dashboard page, it'll actually update all of the reports throughout the MyBI app. So when you now select it, you'll actually see a little screen, or just a splash screen popping up just saying preparing reports. The reason why we just put that there is purely because it's going to update a little bit more reports at this moment, and that may take slightly longer, but that does mean that your user is immediately kind of like enabled or given insight on a holistic level. So you see those quote values have now changed, whilst in the past only the working capital and these graphs would have changed. Now you also have that the document values are changing. All right, so that's for us means that, you know, it's just more holistic information updates as you use MyBI. All right, so that's from an update point of view. That's the updates that are coming through in version 3.5.02, which will be rolled out in the next few days. And then the only thing that you've also the two things to remember on the cube reporting side is, as we said, consolidation slicer that you use from landing page or from the dashboard. That's where you update multiple reports in the back end. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening to this updates. We're really excited to roll them out. We always wanted to make sure that we are bringing out the features that you guys want, so make sure to reach out to us and tell us what you would love to see coming out next, and what you are frustrated with from a reporting point of view, and how we can perhaps help you automate it when it comes to your Pastel environment. Any questions, obviously, please just send us an email or visit our website. You can see all our contact details there. Right, guys, have a great day further. Thanks. Bye.